Good morning, everybody. Another episode of the Keep Going podcast, athletes shining a light on mental health. It's 192 today, David Mitchell. How you doing out there in Colorado, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, P?
Everything's good. I was just telling you a little bit in the prelude. I wanted to save a little bit. We had a awesome wedding out in Lake Tahoe. Shout out to Kayla and Isaac. I got to live a little bit of the David Mitchell life. I was hiking, I was swimming, I was tanning. I wouldn't call this tanning, but it's going to be a tough Sunday with this sunburn. Dave, how's the weekend treating you, dude?
It's been good. I did two hikes out here, one in the flat tops, one in the Zircle Circle. I think I got like 22, 23 miles in the last 2 days.
Ooh,
So been
attaboy.
busy. And then we had a concert last night, like a free concert series we do here in the mountain town. So it's been good.
Nice. Who'd you guys see?
Um, don't know the name. It was kind of like a bluegrass
Nice.
band, but it's more for like socialization and the locals just come out and run into a bunch of people. And I played with my cousin's kids out there on the grass, so it was fun.
Really fun, man. Well, I can always see you being a family man, Dave. Gavin Glave is in the building. Gavin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Pat.
It's
Just
nice to
living
have you
life.
on. No doubt, man. It's nice to have you on. And I would tell you this straight up. It's always good, once again, to have guys that are in high school on. I think it's big for the younger athletes. I think it's great for parents. I think it's great for coaches. Why'd you decide to come on this morning?
Just to talk about the importance of how being a student athlete helps out, just like the mental health,
Yeah, 100%. I think they go hand in hand. Dave, it's crazy now, once again, 190 episodes in, that we get to do this, right? And I think it's big to bring a 17, 18-year-old kid on here and talk about not only the recruiting process and what goes into it, but also that mental component. Because we've talked about it a million times. It's often when we look at someone where they're at, but not what they went through to get there. And I really want to unpack that with you today. So, Gavin, when did you start playing baseball? When did it become important to you, man?
I started playing baseball when I was around like 3 years old.
Yeah.
But when it really started getting serious and I was fully committed and locked into it, I would say I was around 13 to 14.
Gotcha. Was there a moment, maybe at 13, 14, or maybe as a high school player, where you're like, okay, this is definitely what I want to do?
Um, Actually, yeah. It was kind of, Zach, I kind of started looking up to him a little bit more just because he had that work ethic and that I didn't have quite yet. So I really looked up to that.
Yeah, and I think with Zach, it's always good to have people, along the way, Dave. We talk about with you. I know Bill Blank was one of those guys. We shouted him out last week. Dave, do you feel like having people that were wired like you kind of helped you in your journey as well, Dave?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's important. It's important to have a have someone that you can lean on and talk to, and even if it's your teammate, your parents, anyone like that, is a key for sure.
No, I'd agree. I think Zach Lightheart could be that guy for a lot of people in the facility. Obviously, like I told you, Dave, Gav is one of the kids that's been here every day for the last couple of years and just grinded his butt off to get to where he's at. So, Gav, as we kind of go through your story, man, shout out some people along the way that have helped you. I know we mentioned Zach already. Do you have any parents, mentors, friends that have helped you get to where you're at?
I have my mom. She's great. Obviously, you helped me a lot through the years that I've worked with you. So thank you for that, Pat.
Always.
We also have Joe Filomeno as my pitching instructor while he was there, obviously.
Yep, awesome. Who else?
I would say all the guys at Sunday nights that work with us, just being a big part of just a, being a big part of my week that always brings a smile to my face.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I think you've definitely built a community, and there's nobody else you can thank for that besides you, man. That's kind of the person that you are. Dave Gav's one of those guys that walks into a room and he's always got something funny to say, always has a smile on his face, really is a glue guy for what we do here at Athletes HQ. And as we go on, Gav, obviously you were a high school player as a freshman, sophomore. You're still developing. You played your junior year last year, and then Harper College comes along. So if you want to talk about that and Coach Milano, how'd you end up getting a full ride at Harper College?
It just kind of happened. Like, I was putting in work. Pat told me, "Hey, Gav, there's this college named Harper that's looking at you. I want to send some videos." And then we just started working on it right then and there.
Yeah, man. How'd you feel when Coach Milano came out? I know that could have been a nerve-wracking thing, throwing in front of a college coach. How did you feel? And what was your reception to Coach Milano right away?
It was definitely a nerve-wracking thing, but when I was in my zone, I was just doing what I had to do. And then as I got to know Milano more, he was just a very nice and genuine guy.
Yeah, I'd agree. And I'd have to shout out Dom. Obviously, he came on the podcast prior. Loved his episode. Dave and I, of course, are JUCO guys. Known Dom for a while, and I know he's got you in good hands over at Harper College. What I want to touch on too, Gav, is not only the baseball side, but more the mental health side. Because me and you both know, man, you went through some stuff over the last 3+ years I've known you. Talk about the mental health side of the game and some things that you dealt with off the field that you got through.
Some of the mental health part, or I'm going to start off with the game, just some things you will face in the game. Some of the big mental health things I definitely faced was self-doubt, which was thinking I'm not good enough to be able to do certain things. Also, just the people behind the scenes that are just in your ear always chirping. And some way I think you could face that is like surrounding yourself with the right people because they always have your back and it's just they know your worth.
Yeah. Do you feel like during that time, right? I obviously was around during that time when people be talking, saying whatever they want to say, right? We all had that in our journeys too. Do you feel like that support group, that village really got you through it on those tougher days?
Most definitely. I couldn't have done it without any of them.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, man. I think that's a big part of it. I think that's a reason why we still do this, right? Like the community piece is so big. We also understand the game can be hard at times. I always compare it to a roller coaster. The great ones just keep jumping on. It's never going to be perfect, but the great ones definitely continue to persevere. How about off the field, man? We've talked about family stuff. We've talked about relationship stuff. How did you get things back to where they should be between the lines?
Um, Obviously there's problems with my dad behind the scenes and just him not being the most present. But I was lucky enough to have a mom that filled in both roles. And man, just something that helped me out is being able to talk to any like my people and just work through it because like I said that Sunday night is became a bigger part of my life recently. So
Yeah, I'd agree. And I think your mom is as a saint. I had a feeling you were going to shout her out. Definitely someone that I've leaned on. Definitely been a second mom to me over the years, and it's cool to see when people step up, even when they don't have to, right? When they fill gaps. Dave, we always talk about in our lives. We talk about Steve pretty much every week. Steve was one of those guys that was a father figure to us. All our guys now swing the pipes. All the guys know Steve. You never know what person or what people are going to step in and fill those gaps. Dave, do you feel like in your journey, you've had some people step along, not only as mentors and guardians, but coaches that helped you as well?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of coaches, my parents, shout out my parents as well. Yeah, it they always were there for me and supported me and shout out Coach Peterson again. He's a guy that really pushed me to be the best version of myself because he knew that there was more in me and he kept on pushing me, and it was hard, and it will be hard, and people will be doing that, but that's only out of support and love, and they want the best version of yourself.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think every good relationship, every good coach, every good opportunity comes with challenge and friction, right? And that's something that I took from Coach P and something that I brought into our facilities on Sunday nights as well. Yeah, a couple more questions. I'll kick it over to Dave. One that always comes to mind is for a high school kid these days, things are tough, dude. Like you run into issues maybe Dave and I didn't have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. Any advice for high school kids going through the recruiting process or high school athletes in general?
For the recruiting process, I would say just keep your mindset focused and continue working, because that work will eventually pay off and people will continue to look at you as long as you keep putting in that work.
Yeah, man. How about high school stuff? Any advice for a high school kid going through the day to day?
I would just say stay locked in school. Don't evolve evolve yourself around the wrong people, and just stay in your own lane.
Yeah, I would agree with you, man. Those conversations that we've had. Last one, I'll kick it over to Dave. I think the big preface of our podcast, of course, is that keep going moment, right? Something that the normal person would have went through and maybe not get to kind of where you're at now. So what was that keep going moment for you, man?
Actually, there was one time I came to the facility and you were there, and I just broke down, and I just realized there's a lot more than just baseball here, and it's just a big family. And that was one of those things I'm like, man, I just want to keep doing this because it's a small world.
Yeah, man. I remember that day, dude. I remember that day, and I think you've done a lot of growing in the cage. You've done a lot of maturing as well. I think it's funny. I talked to my wife this morning, and I told Ashton before I was coming on, I'm like, yeah, Gavin's coming on. And she goes, wow, how crazy is that? Like, because she remembers you as like a kid, right? Like, I now know you as a young adult and someone that I trust, someone that has worked for me, someone that has gone in and been a role model to kids here, someone that has been so big for like your family and your mom. And it's just crazy how that all happens. And Dave, as we know, growing up in the facility, you get to see kids grow up. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Dave, mailbag's hot, baby. Get it rolling.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about self-doubt in earlier in this episode. And I'm someone that has struggled with self-doubt when I was in high school and in college, and I still do. I still do. I think we all do a little bit. In a big situation, then when you feel a little bit more pressure, how do you ground yourself in that situation when you do feel that emotion?
When you feel that emotion, something I do personally is, if I have to, I'll take a walk around the dugout, go take a walk somewhere else, get my mind refocused and ready for the game. And it's easier said than done, but it definitely helps my mind calm it down.
Yeah, I like that. That's
Yeah.
good advice. I feel like you can do that anywhere, P, just like, take a break, step outside for 5 minutes, refocus and recenter yourself. That's really good.
I agree. Go ahead, dude.
What are you doing currently for your mental health?
Something I'm doing for my mental health is getting ready for school, honestly. Do,
Yeah.
staying locked in with baseball, hanging out with friends, just not staying in the house as much, because I feel like that's where definitely a lot of the mental health aspect starts to come down, is when you're just sitting alone and not doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I do the same thing. I spiral when I'm alone. It's good to surround yourself with good people. My last question, is there anything today that we might have missed that you would want to share to our listeners today?
Um, I would say there's definitely going to be harder moments in your life where you're going to have to face it, but it's okay to be not okay. Well, you have to use your resources, like as in your people, your friends, your family, to be able to use that mental health, to be able to talk it out, to be able to just re-find yourself if you can't do it on your own.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
What a beautiful send off. I will say this: we're at the point of this podcast where we've had coaches on that have worked with you. We have your current, soon-to-be college coach with Coach Milano on, and then kind of putting that cherry on top is having you on today, G. So, what I will tell you is, for the people that are listening, I know our social media has been buzzing since last night. Once I got the post up, people want to hear this, man. People want to hear you talk about what you've been through, and I know it's not always the easiest thing. I get that. This is not like just a podcast where we talk about baseball only. This is a little bit deeper than a normal conversation. I'm glad we got down to it today. And I know it's going to not only impact others, but it's going to mean a lot to the people that care about you, G. So I appreciate you, dude. I'm proud of you. I love you, obviously. And you've become someone that, I don't know, there's just so much of your story that I'm glad we got to tell today. So thank you for being here, man. That's all I could say.
Thank you for having me, Pat.
Always, dude. Dave, send us home, brother.
I'm excited to track your history in the next couple of years, see where you can go. I know you're gonna be a good one. I can just tell he's a grinder, P. He's a
Yeah,
grinder. He's gonna put in the work. He's gonna succeed. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for coming on, Gavin.
no
Thank you
doubt. No
guys for
doubt.
having me again.
Of course. No problem. And what I'd say, Dave, is you'll get to meet G here in a couple weeks. Obviously, with the event coming up August 8th, Gavin does have a team with a lot of college commits and guys that play in the facility. So maybe you guys will square off, get some healthy competition going out here in Rockford. But with all seriousness, guys, I hope everybody has a blessed Sunday. Thanks for another great episode of the Keep Going podcast. And above all else, keep going. Thanks, everybody.